and welcome to this week's Tip Tuesday. If you're new here, I am Martha Lily of Martha Lily Photography. You can find me as Martha Lily Photography on Facebook and my website, and Instagram is Martha Lily Photog. And today we are doing darkroom portraits, also known as black background, and you find me in a very dark stable. It actually looks lighter on camera than it is. And we're going to get my naughtiest model, Kitty, and I'm going to show you how I take these portraits as well. I'm going to have a go at doing it on an iPhone so that you guys can try it at home. So if you don't know what darkroom images are, here are some examples of ones I've taken. I use a Nikon D750 with a 70-200 2.8. And images like these are included in all of my portrait shoots where there is a darkroom to shoot in. This is my glamorous assistant, and then we've got our model who is our naughtiest pony. So once you've got the horse on the very edge of the light so the shadows fall nicely, I have them as if they're about to walk out and then with their neck turned on the non-main side, and then it's just a case of getting the ears forward, which is easier said than done. We're using a dog barking app here. Please do be careful and use it in a safe space before you do it in an open space, but it really works. In Lightroom and basic edit done, I use the gradient tool with, I have my own dark background preset, which you can see everything is whacked down. You can use the brush and quickly go around it. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I do it this way. There obviously is no right or wrong answer. So then you go around the edge, fairly rough, and then zoom in using the navigator tool and do the slightly fiddlier bit. It is an art form, so you can definitely do the way that you feel works best, and I can't say that I do it exactly the same every time. All images are different, and sometimes you want to do the fiddly bits and sometimes you want to just do the rough edges first. It's completely whatever works for you. Little keyboard hack is when on the brush tool you can use the square brackets, and this will just make your brush smaller or larger, and it's really quick and easy while you're in the flow. Then I go back in with the gradient tool and just try and create even more of an illusion that they are in a shadowed area. I would say it is harder with greys, like especially the white greys, as it can look a bit weird and you don't want them to look like they're just plonked in a black space. This is why it's really good to pop them in a dark space already so that there are already natural shadows, but you really want to enhance that just to give it the most natural look as possible. So now we are going to use the iPhone 10, also known as the iPhone X, and basically repeating the same process. I'm shooting landscape just so for the purpose of this video. It was the same orientation when screen recording on the Mac.
Yeah. She wasn't though.
Yeah, but she is. That was better than last time I tried to do a shoot. She bit Nancy twice. So this will be the first time I've done a black background on my phone, and she did have a little bit of a snotty nose, but we really couldn't get anything else. She really wanted to go out in the field, understandably. Okay, so I've got my chosen image and now I'm going to go into Lightroom. So as this is shot on a phone, I'm obviously going to edit it on the Lightroom mobile, which I haven't used before, by the way. I'm going to click auto and see what it wants to do, but no, I don't like that. So we are going to go into light and whack the shadows down and highlights up. It's much easier with a grey. Obviously if it was a black horse, it wouldn't work quite as well. I whack the blacks down a bit too much here, so I lift them back up because you lose the catch light in the eye. I like a lot of sharpness, contrast and clarity in these images that really makes the horse stand out, which is amazing. So first I click the plaster button, which is like the healing tool, and then it will let me select the stamp tool, which is the clone, which basically takes part of the image and pops it somewhere else. So I'm just taking the darker bits from the image and popping those around because I didn't know how to work the paintbrush because I've never used Lightroom before. There, it's doing a job, but it's not as quick as I would like it. So in a minute you'll see me finally figure out the paintbrush tool and get to work. A bit more cloning, and then I decide to crop it. 4x5 portrait for Instagram. We're now onto the bit where I finally figured out Lightroom mobile. I thought I'd leave this in as like a realistic bit because I'm not an expert. I don't use mobile. I use Lightroom for my Mac. So yeah, I hope this has helped. So I'm using the gradient as well as the brush tool, like I said in the Mac edit, just to create that shadowy effect. So the same applies for the brush and the gradient. I am just whacking down the exposure, shadows, all of those things just to make it black, and then brushing away. So I really hope that has helped. Obviously I picked the naughtiest model, but that's almost going to help you, because hopefully nothing will be as bad as Kitty, but God love her. Obviously using your phone is not a replacement for a professional shoot, and you can clearly see the difference in the sharpness of the images, but phones are amazing these days and it's always good to learn a new skill. So this is the phone. There's a lot of things I couldn't get rid of which I didn't like, and it's just not as sharp. And then this is the one taken on the professional kit, which you can just see every hair, which is just beautiful. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video. Please do leave a comment if it helps you and tag me when you use these tips. Thanks again. You can also use these tips with people or people without the horse, if you don't have a studio like me and you like working with natural light.